Fox Sports.
Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. The homestand continues. The New York Mets in town. Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Cardinals won 6-2 here last night with a 12-hit attack. The biggest moment of Game 1 belonged to Matt Holliday. Career RBI number 1,000 and an ovation that he won't soon forget. Glad you're with us. Rick Horton along with Al Raboski. Holliday back in the lineup again in that familiar third spot. He's our BJC difference maker. And Holliday, Al, here yesterday doing something that very few players have had a chance to do.
That's right. When you get 1,000 RBIs, it means you've had longevity and a lot of production. Let's look at the last 5 Cardinals that have gotten 1,000 RBIs wearing the Cardinal uniform. There's some of your favorites: Pujols, Rowland, Edmonds, McGuire, and even Bobby Bonds.
Holliday in that lineup again. The Cardinals really swinging the bats. Waka takes the hill. Cardinals Mets coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. is starting to show signs of dominance, with Matt Adams, Alan Craig, and Matt Holliday combining for 14 RBIs in the last 4 games. And tonight, Michael Wacha takes the mound. He's undefeated in 7 starts at Busch this season. First place is getting closer if they can continue their winning ways. It's the Cardinals and the Mets coming up. By Bud Light Lime, the perfect beer for whatever happens. By Chevy, see your Mid-America Chevrolet dealer today. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Cardinals take the field led by Michael Wacha, undefeated here at Busch Stadium in 2014. A warm night at Busch, 87 degrees. Game 2 of a 3-game series with the New York Mets. Here's a look at the Mets batting order. Curtis Granderson will be in right field to hit first. Daniel Murphy's been a Cardinal killer. He hits second. David Wright struggling lately. Bobby Abreu a big surprise in the cleanup spot. Lucas Duda, Anthony Recker, Ruben Tejada. The pitcher Jonathan Neese in the 8th spot, and Eric Young will bat 9th against the Cardinal starter Michael Wacha. There's the key in numbers, Al, for our starter here tonight in Game 2, Michael Wacha.
Well, you mentioned he has not lost a game here at home this year. He's 4-0 at home and 0-5 on the road. But don't fault Michael Wacha. On the road, he's only received 10 runs of support, only 20 at home. But it's he's done his part of the bargain, just needs a little offensive help.
Started against the Mets on the 23rd of April. And that's that game where he gave up 5 walks, struck out 10 in 4 innings.
Remember, he struck out the first 9 batters.
Cardinals defense behind Wacha here, brought to you by Dobbs. Descalzo gets to start at third base today. He and Peralta will be on the left side. Ellis and Craig on the right side. The outfield, Holliday, Borges in center, John Jay, and behind the plate, Yadier Molina. And this means just for the second game of the season, a non-start for Matt Carpenter. Here's the game we're talking about, Al. Wacha started out with the strikeouts and then just lost his command.
Well, it was unbelievable. He strikes out the first 9. It was an extremely windy day, in case you don't know. as Waka loses his hat, but it was weird. 10 strikeouts, but only 4 innings because of the pitch count.
Much nicer night here. He hits the outside corner to Granderson for strike one. 30-mile-an-hour winds that night. 50 degrees at Citi Field.
Oh, it looks like he's got the swing and miss working.
Granderson at 227, a power hitter in that first spot in the Mets lineup. And there's a 1-2-3 at bat and a strikeout for Waka. Nice beginning here tonight. And Granderson strikes out for the 69th time this season.
Yeah, good to see Granderson make this strikeout. He was 1 for 3 with a strikeout against Waka, but he's hit over 400 against Cardinal pitching in his career.
Another Met that has hit the Cardinals well, Daniel Murphy, averaged just below 300. Having an outstanding season. One of 6 left-handed bats that'll be in the lineup today against Waka.
Waka, because of that great changeup, that neutralizes a lot of left-handed bats.
There's the curveball.
Well, or an attempt at a curveball. That looked like the curveball he featured when he first showed up at the big league level. But he worked hard on that, and it's made it a weapon.
2-0 to Murphy. Ground ball. Nice play at first base by Alan Craig. Cardinals defense has really been terrific this homestand. Craig has had a good play in right, and now he adds one to the resume playing first base.
Oh, Alan Craig, whether he's playing right field, left field, or first base, has not made an error. Pretty much on the line. And look at that short dive. His glove goes on the line, and he makes the play. Hyundai with our replay here. And that'll pick up a pitcher.
Plays like that, Al, and being around baseball a long time, we know that when you make a play like that, that's a double. That's not just a base hit. Watch out for the bat, Michael Waka. Broken bat. David Wright retired on one pitch. Good start for the Cardinal right-hander. Off the left-hander John Neese, and here's the Cardinals order. Peter Borges getting the start in center field. He'll lead off, and John Jay will follow. Holiday, Craig, and Molina in the middle of the order, followed by Johnny Peralta, Mark Ellis, Daniel Descalzo making his 10th start of the season, and Michael Waka. And they'll face a guy that's pitched very well against St. Louis, Jonathan Neese.
He won his first game this year against the Cardinals in New York. He is pitching his best baseball of his career. He's gone 17 consecutive starts, allowing just 3 runs or less. It's the longest current streak in the majors. Not getting much run support either, as franchise record tying 4 straight starts, allowing 2 runs or less, and yet failing to earn a win.
Seems like one of those classic left-handers that the Cardinals have trouble against. Well documented over the last few years, the Cardinals don't beat left-handers a lot, or haven't. And Neese, not an overpowering left-hander. He'll throw 88 to 90 as a cutter. Throws a little sinker. Curveball really his best pitch, and also has a changeup. See if the Cardinals can figure him out today.
Kind of interesting, because when he first came to the big leagues, he was a fly ball pitcher. But he's turned that in because of the sinker and the curveball. He's now become a ground ball pitcher. Good numbers against St. Louis.
Ground ball left side. Nice play by David Wright. He's a very good fielder. Talk about the All-Stars hitting, but he can pick it at third base. Nice play to retire Borges. And we'll take a look at the Mets defense. Brought to you by Dobbs as well. Young, Granderson, Abreu in the outfield. Wright, Tejada, Murphy, and Duda on the infield. Recker behind the plate. And Neese the pitcher.
David Wright really struggling offensively. He's never had a month like this in the minor leagues or big leagues, but does not take it to the field.
Ground ball up the middle, and another John Jay base hit. He has been a hitting machine.
And it doesn't matter if it's a left-handed pitcher or not. He's been doing a tremendous job. John Jay now adds to his league-leading .407 batting average against left-handed pitching with one more base hit. He's now, what, 12 for 28.
Is that the little Gator clap that they were doing for John Jay? Didn't he play at Miami? That's like the enemy.
Anti.
Yeah, I know. Matt Adams not in the lineup. What a boost he's been. Holiday, first ball hitting, fly ball, deep center field, sends back Granderson to just in front of the track for a loud out. Take a look at our umpires here tonight. Bill Welke will be the umpire at first base, and the home plate umpire, James Hoy. Bob Davidson is the crew chief. He's at second base. And John Tumpane was the umpire at third. Alan Craig, 5-game hitting streak. 8 for his last 15, and the RBI is starting to come for Allen.
Yeah, his 5-game hitting streak, he's batting .450 during that time. And then on the homestand, just a .533 average.
Ground ball left side. Tejada gets the lead runner, so the Cardinals are retired in the first. They strand the game's first runner. No score here at Busch. champions. Rick Horton with Al Raboski, Jim Hayes along with us. And Jim has some more news on the Cardinals center fielder actually playing right field tonight, John Jay.
Yeah, John Jay will point out that he's a career .294 hitter, so what he's doing right now is kind of what he always does anyway, but he's been on fire of late, not including tonight. He already has a base hit, but since May 23rd, over 21 games, he's hitting .371. That includes going 7 for 11 against left-handers. Again, Jay downplaying it, told me he's just putting together good at-bats. Mike Matheny says the key for Jay may have been his handling of getting reduced playing time earlier on in the season. He told me John was frustrated about not getting the at-bats he was used to, but Matheny said Jay stayed positive, kept working, and guys, total pro is how Matheny describes John Jay.
Jimmy certainly did have a great deal of patience, almost a forgotten guy. And speaking of guys kind of being patient and coming out of nowhere, Nick Greenwood had a big day yesterday. Do you have a chance to visit with him at all or get some more information about this Cardinal rookie who won his first game in the big leagues here yesterday?
Yeah, as good as he was, Rick, some anticipated a roster move today, but Greenwood is still here. He threw 3 1/3 scoreless innings, got the win in his big league debut last night. Mike Matheny says if the Cards were going to make a move, it would have been to bring up a fresh arm, but he says Greenwood pitched so well he didn't have to use his bullpen, so there was no need. Besides, he said, awfully hard to send someone down the day after they pitched so well. He said, you remember Greg Garcia had that walk-off hit by a pitch and got sent down the next day. Managers don't like to have to do that.
All right, thanks, Jim. Appreciate the updates. There's a nice play by the very steady Mark Ellis for out number 1.
Yeah, very good defensive player, Mark Ellis, and a real pro himself. Positioning is a big part of his game. Gets over to his left, he spins and throws, and with Abreu at 41 years of age or thereabouts, you know, you can take your time and make that play.
Cardinals defense really has been outstanding in this series. We can point to a lot of plays, Al.
Well, remember, we were preaching all season, and particularly the off season, that this was going to be a much better defensive ball club. They got off to a slow start, but now they're really showing you how they can flash the leather. Last year they, you know, I think it was tied for the fewest errors in the league, but they were not a good defensive club. But they have become much, much better, and there's a shift on with Duda, left-handed hitter.
A lot of power for Lucas Duda. At least power potential. He has 8 home runs on the season. And he has been hot his last 4 games. 32 RBIs. And he takes this one the other way. Well, that'll beat the shift.
It was going to beat without the shift. That was just well placed.
So a 1-out double for Duda brings in the catcher here tonight, Anthony Recker.
Sinking fastball down and away, and he just throws the bat at it. Not even in the strike zone. But since it's off the end of the bat, it'll loop it down into the left field corner. That would have been a double with, you know, even playing him to pull.
Waka from the stretch now. Strike 1 on Recker. The Cardinals now been very stingy with the home run.
That's good to see. When I've always said this is a very fair ballpark, and if you don't walk people and you keep the ball in the ballpark, you will win. And the Cardinal pitching has been doing an outstanding job.
How about that separation between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 there? 75 plus innings. Pretty impressive.
Derek Lilliquist doesn't get enough credit for how good a job he's done.
100% agree. Cutter misses low. I know, Al, there'll be some that say that, and it's part of the debate of shifting, that Michael Wacha threw a pitch away with a shift and he hit it away. Wacha delivers the 1-1 curveball that misses. Where do you weigh in on that?
You know, I think what you're saying is, you know, if you're going to play him one way, you pitch him that way. You don't pitch against the defense. But you know, if a power guy hits the ball like that, so be it.
Good breaking ball from Waka, evens the count.
Yadi Nome has the ability to frame a ball. You see him pull that ball up, show the umpire a strike.
You have to do it subtly, don't you?
Yeah, with soft hands. That's the real trademark of a good catcher.
Waka checks on the runner and the 2-2. This is low.
Rick, I know you've been a little concerned about the velocity, and that last pitch was 95. That's good range for Waka.
Certainly up from his last start. First start of the season that Waka gave up more than 3 runs. That came against Tampa Bay on the last road trip. 3-2 pitch here. Curveball misses high. He got underneath that one a bit, so a walk. 2 runners aboard, and it's time to look at our Toyota Keys here tonight.
Well, one thing about Michael Waka is you want him to continue his dominance here at home. You know, he's 6-1 with a 2.28 ERA at Busch Stadium in his career over the last 2 years, and grind out at bats. Cardinals banged out 12 hits early in that game. It seemed to be a good theme when we were in getting the good pitching late in that road trip. Good at bats by the hitters, good defense, and well pitched games. That translates to victories.
Ruben Tejada is the shortstop for the Mets. 0 for 2 yesterday. He walked twice, and he swings at the first pitch and comes up empty. The Mets a very patient team as far as walks are concerned. They lead the National League. That was walk number 265 as a team.
You know, they're a much different team on the road. They score a lot more, 4.67 runs, you know, on the road. And at home, when they're at that big ballpark, they just try to swing away. Can't get many home runs, but they do have 8 more home runs than the Cardinals.
The 0-1. Good fastball there. That one at 94. A lot of life to that one. Talk about velocity, how that one actually had a little zip to it, too.
And if you can have the velocity and movement on top of it, then you have something going.
Cardinals hoping for a double play with the middle infielders. Just underway here at Busch Stadium. Swing and a miss. And Waka blows away Ruben Tejada.
Terry Collins batting his pitcher 8th again today, and this will not happen tomorrow. Jonathan Neese doesn't have a high average. It's 0.48, but Terry Collins says he can handle the bat pretty well. So he likes putting the pitcher spot in the 8th if he has a good hitting pitcher, like he did last night. DeGrom, remember, he started that game with a 4.55 average, so it made sense. But with Cologne pitching, who he would like to have bat 28.
But you're not allowed. Swing and a miss.
He will be in the 9th spot.
But I still wonder whether he's questioning his own decision right now with a chance to drive in a run. But he does like Eric Young Jr. in that 9th spot as the
second
extra
leadoff man.
Leadoff hitter, exactly.
More chances for runs for the top of the order to drive in. But you're right, with runners at first and second, you kind of wish you had Eric Young Jr. batting rather than the pitcher. Batting a positive 0.48.
The 1-2 bounce back to Waka. He'll underhand it to Alan Craig. So Waka pitches out of it in the second. The Mets strand 2. Nice night at Busch Stadium. Stanton, McCutchen, and Puig in the outfield. Tulowitzki, Utley, Goldschmidt, Wright, and Molina. A Met and a Cardinal, and that's a pretty decent lineup there, Mr. Roboski.
Yeah, David Wright is leading the National League third baseman by about 75,000 votes over San Francisco's Sandoval. Wright, a 7-time All-Star, 5-time fan-elected starter, would join Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt as an 8th fan election, and as the only National League third baseman to earn at least 6 fan-elected starting assignments. So, other than David Wright, you might have a tough time finding a representative for the Mets.
Tulo, the leading vote getter so far, and we should say that the voting continues on MLB.com through July 3rd. And of course, the All-Star Game will air exclusively on Fox. July 15th is the date. Yadier Molina, his first plate appearance. 5 for 13 in his career against Nice. Hits this ball hard down the left field line. It is deep, and it is a home run. Yadier Molina has given the Cardinals the lead. One swing of the bat, 1-0 at St. Louis.
Yadi been really struggling and got a base hit yesterday, but here's more indicative of how he's going to be swinging the bat and get himself back being a very productive offensive player. And don't forget, Yadi's still in a battle with Buster Posey, so keep on voting Yadi in all your favorite Cardinals for the All-Star Game.
Absolutely. Earn some votes there. And Nice does not give up very many home runs.
It's only his 7th home run he's allowed.
Changeup. Swing and a miss by Peralta. 131 career starts for Nice, 75 home runs, second fewest among all starters with that many starts, but Molina gets him here.
Yeah, just snuck over the wall. His 6th hit and 14 plate appearances against Nice.
Home run measured 374 feet by Molina. And I said the second fewest home runs allowed, the fewest Doug Fister, who the Cardinals saw in this homestand.
He was Sunday starter for Washington.
Peralta leads the Cardinals with 17 doubles. It seems like he's a double or a home run when he makes contact. And he's been a very good fielder, especially after kind of a slow start. First couple of weeks, made a few errors. But he's been very, very good at shortstop and has some surprising range.
I made an error in this series, and that was the first one in nearly 400 innings. So he has absolutely tightened up the leather, and he's done an outstanding job.
Play him to pull on the infield, but he hits this one the other way. Abreu has it. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using STL Fan Photo, and you'll get a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Another nice crowd still filing in here at Busch Stadium, and over 40,000 plus every game in 2014 so far. Nice misses high, and just wonderful to have this place packed, isn't it?
Every night, every single night. About 42,000 paid tonight.
Up the middle, handled by Tejada, off balance throw to get Ellis. Nice play there.
Very nice play by the young shortstop. Got a real nice hop at the end and bounced up about waist high. Reaches out, the off balance throw, and robs Mark Ellis of a hit.
You, Danny, and I had the chance to be out at the UMB Champions Club for our telecast last night, but we really sensed the crowd here with the Matt Holliday moment was very much into it, and we know he appreciated that, Al, and it was a pretty special time here to see Matt acknowledged in that way by the crowd, and a base hit for Daniel Descalzo. Getting a start against a left-hander, 2-out single, and Matt, I know, was really moved by that moment here at Busch Stadium.
And he's that silent leader and does a lot of his leading by example, but you know, that really just signifies to a player that you've been around for a long time. You've been a productive player, which Matt has. I mean, 311 lifetime hitter.
Krispy Kreme dozen deal. If you're St. Louis Cardinals, get 9 hits tonight. They had 12 last night. You're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow to receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal. Michael Wacha hitting just .045. Hasn't been much of a threat yet with the bat. We've been showing you a lot of different views here at the ballpark and talking about how the game can be understood and learned differently, and you learn kind of the speed of the ball, you learn the movement of the fielders and the swing of the bat and the sounds of the game by moving around the ballpark.
And the lower and closer you are to the action, it's stunning how quick things happen. You want to feel old, Ricky?
Not really, but you're going to make me do it, aren't you?
Yeah. Nice is 27 years of age, but he was born on the night that the Mets won the World Series in 1986.
Yep, that did it. Made me feel old. Thank you, Al.
And I just remember I'm 20 years older.
Little tapper in front of the plate. Nice throws out Wacha. Cardinals get on the board here in the second, thanks to Yadier Molina. Home run number 6. Love to watch that swing. Teammates love the result. AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. And by 5 Hour Energy, recognizing those who, despite their own needs, put others first. 1-0 St. Louis. On to the third inning. Michael Wacha has been sharp in the early going. He had a 7-pitch first inning and escaped a little bit of trouble in the second after a 1-out double to Lucas Duda. He'll face 9-1-2, and this is where you get the extra leadoff hitter in Eric Young Jr., who's batting in the 9th spot.
The idea of that second leadoff hitter, and you put a higher percentage of two position players getting on base ahead of your RBI men.
So you sell that to Eric Young Jr., but he knows he's 121 in his last 10 games. How do you not feel a little slighted by that?
Well, I think part of it, what helps too, is he's come off the disabled list and hadn't had many starts since late May when he came off. Had a strained right hamstring.
Very shallow in the outfield. Couldn't hold up. Another strikeout victim for Michael Wacha. That's his third. First time through the lineup. 32 pitches. Wacha looks sharp. Go back to the top of the lineup and Curtis Granderson. Granderson for Terry Collins has hit leadoff, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And he's one of those players, Al, that you look at him and you're not really sure where he's best. He does strike out a lot, but he does walk a lot. He has power. His average is low typically, but the run production high. So, where's he best?
Try and generate something, and the one thing the Mets have been very good, didn't transpire in this game, but they usually get out of the box and score early in ball games.
0-2, grounded to the right side. Craig flips to Wacha. And Granderson retired, who's had a sore calf issue himself. Now let's take a look at the leading vote getters for the American League All-Star team. Again, voting continues on MLB.com through July 3rd, and the All-Star game will be exclusively aired on Fox on July 15th. Cabrera, Trout, Bautista, wouldn't want to pitch to any of them. Jeter, final year with the Yankees. Former Yankee Cano at second base, Cabrera at first. Another very, very tough lineup. So if your favorite player's not on there, let's start voting. Murphy lines out to left. 8-pitch inning for Michael Wacha.
great changeup. It's a power changeup. He's 6'6", so he can get on top of the ball. Here's going to be the curveball. You see it, the loop in there. This gotten much better. There's the cutter. You see the tight spin, and here's his four-seam fastball. But you can see he's 6'6". He throws on a downward plane, and just about every one of those pitches leave the same arm angle, the same positioning.
Hard hit to right, but Abreu doesn't have to move very far to retire Peter Borges, and Michael Wacha has been just a terrific draft choice for the Cardinals. Developed quickly. He's still just 22 years of age, 6'6", 210 pounds, and I just have the feeling, as Mike Shannon talked in our pregame, that he's just something special.
Well, he is something special, and he's special between the ears too. He's beyond his age, and he's got a good leader to follow, and that's Adam Wainwright. But what I was so impressed with is when Wacha showed up, he was really a two-pitch pitcher, fastball and changeup. And then when he got sent down, he came back, and that curveball was much improved.
Fly ball to right, fairly deep. Abreu has been busy.
Adam is 6'7", Wacha's 6'6", so why wouldn't you try to emulate and learn from a guy that is a great warrior and a guy that has a lot of wealth of knowledge? He picked a lot of it up from Carpenter. Carpenter picked it up from Clemens and others. It's just all about, and then you got a pretty good teacher in Derek Lilliquist. Derek's been around not only through his playing career, but he's had a lot of different functions. Rehab coordinator for the pitchers down in Jupiter.
He was there for a long time doing that. Really cut his teeth professionally as a coach doing that, helping players rehab and come back. And I got to believe that's helped him as a pitching coach, even dealing now with Adam Wainwright. This one popped up. Right side. Murphy has it. Easy inning for Nice. On to the fourth.
Everyone else is a work day, so.
You played a little video golf as part of your work day?
I did just get 18 in, which was awesome. I was 18 under through 18, so it was a tough course.
That was in our pregame show. Jim Hayes asking the hard questions about what starters do on their day before their start.
Spotted.
A little video golf for Lance Lynn. I know he's rooting on his Ole Miss Rebels in the College World Series.
Are you still there?
Oh, yeah. Playing Matt Carpenter's
TCU, huh?
TCU team tonight.
Got a little wager?
Nope.
I know there's no betting.
No betting in baseball. That's right. Especially college baseball. Woo. Popped up by David Wright over towards the Cardinals dugout. Molina gives chase, but it's into the camera well. There's Matt Carpenter, only the second game this season that he hasn't started, and the first game that Matt did not play in was the 16th of April, but he came in late in the game, had a pinch hit, played some defense, so he's been in every single Cardinal game, and I kind of wouldn't count him out for this game either. Late in the game, you need a hit.
Oh, I'm sure. Cardinals going to have a nice bench, and with a predominantly right-handed pitching bullpen for the Mets, those lefties on that bench, they could have some important at bats.
Hanging curveball hit deep by David Wright, and this ball is gone. Solo shot for David Wright. That's his 5th of the season, and he ties the game at 1.
David Wright was going through something he had never experienced. He was 3 for his last 34, and he'd never struggled this bad in a month for it, at the big league level or even at the minor league level. And he ties the score with this hanging breaking ball. He got it at the down at the bottom, but still you could see it had a real big loop in there.
So Wright has tied it. 7-time All-Star. Solo shot here in the 4th inning. Mets have 2 hits, the Cardinals 3. Bobby Abreu bounced out in the 2nd inning, and Abreu has been quite a find by this Mets team. Really out of the game, 2 for 18 as a pinch hitter for them. But since he's been in the starting lineup, he's hitting .339 in his starts. Good pitch there.
Well, some people say, how good can the Mets be when 2 of your real leaders offensively is Bobby Abreu, and then pitching wise is Roberto Colon. 40, 41 years of age, the 2 of them each.
Jam there towards left field. Holiday makes the play. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live online or in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit Cardinals.com for details.
It's only the 5th home run that Waka has allowed. So 2 very stingy pitchers tonight with a home run ball.
398 feet for that home run for David Wright. Good hitters do not miss pitches like that.
No.
Even when they're slumping. Good changeup there for Waka. You see a different Michael Waka than we saw on that last road trip, where he, I wouldn't call a bad Al, but he did not have great starts in Kansas City and then Tampa Bay.
He just was a little bit off, and we have to remember, you mentioned he's only 22 years of age. What is this, his 24th major league start? 2nd against the Mets this season, the 3rd overall.
So still learning. And we showed Adam Wainwright earlier. Maybe that's one of the things you learn from a Wainwright, how to win and how to have an outstanding game even when you don't have your best stuff.
Well, his last game, walks got him in trouble.
Towering pop-up, and Craig retires Lucas Duda. Download the new McD app for great deals sent directly to your smartphone right now. Get a free large sandwich with any purchase just for downloading. Anthony Recker, 30-year-old catcher, has some power of his own. Bounced around for a long time in the minor leagues before given a chance at the big league level, and his power has a lot to do with that.
But the Mets, you know, they're just waiting for Travis d'Arnaud, their outstanding young catcher, who can handle it defensively at this level, but really struggling offensively. He was on the disabled list for a while with a 7-day concussion, but they had to send him down because they were worried if he was becoming counterproductive, leaving him up here and hitting about 150. So they're hoping he'd get himself back in gear. So Recker and Teagarden last night were getting a lot of playing time.
d'Arnaud, really a guy they were counting on this year, not next year, but this year. He's really one of their best prospects. Swing and a miss. Recker a strikeout victim. That's 4 for Waka. But David Wright tied the game here in the 4th. Got a curveball aimed for Big Mac land. Players potentially. Greg Holland on that list. He's the closer, and we saw him on that last road trip. The closer for the Kansas City Royals, the hottest team in all of baseball, who've won 8 straight, and he is some kind of nasty, Al.
Yeah, he's got very good stuff and 20 saves out of 21 opportunities. He should be on that team, and this team is doing very well once again. They're leading 10-2 over Detroit, and that would put them in first place in quite a while, since you could say Kansas City Royals are in first place this late in the season.
And that's Max Scherzer that started that game for Detroit. So the Royals have found some offense.
Verlander yesterday, but he's not throwing like the Verlander we were used to.
Sinking line drive, and Granderson had to be tentative about that. He wasn't sure how far that ball would carry, perhaps knuckling a bit, but he retires Alan Craig, who hit that ball right on the nose.
Most difficult ball for an outfielder, particularly a center fielder, is the line drive right at you. And a nice ovation for Gotti. Well deserved.
A solo home run in the 2nd inning, accounting for the Cardinals' run. David Wright homered in the 4th. Nice working quickly. A lot of the Mets do not, but Nice does. Their games tend to be longer, as we were told, because they walk a lot and they walk a lot of hitters.
He's had a lot of injuries and having his finest season.
There's a look at the Redbird Club. Air-conditioned area here at Busch Stadium, and
it's right behind us.
Right behind us, one of my favorite places to go.
Right
Very
there.
Open, yeah. It's a nice
right
open
there.
area.
That's what you said.
Right there.
You got your name on a seat there.
I didn't mean specifically right there, Al, but I'll go along with it. On Saturday, June 21st, 25,000 fans 16 and older will receive a Cardinals tote bag courtesy of Diet Coke and Schnucks. They can carry their own popcorn, peanuts, and souvenirs and other things, Al, to and from the game in style. Get your tickets for the June 21st game at cardinals.com/promotions. Strike one to Peralta. Nice has allowed only 3 Cardinal hits. Working inside well with that fastball. Again, not an overpowering fastball, but he's not afraid to come inside.
Remember, he went on the disabled list a year ago with a torn rotator cuff. It was not a complete tear, and he did not have surgery. He rested it, and he's come back strong.
Since that time, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Yeah. Sometimes getting hurt, having the game taken away from you, gives you a renewed sense of how important and how lucky you are to play this great game.
The win-loss is not there for Nice in a way he would like. He's had a couple of games where didn't get a lot of run support. By the way, Michael Wacha gets the least run support of any Cardinals starter as well. But Nice's record could be better, but since that August date a year ago, his ERA very, very low.
Nice currently has a 2.54 ERA and Wacha 2.85.
Interesting look by Wacha there, almost like he was in a trance. As Nice loses Peralta, just kind of staring off into space. Do you recognize that look, Al? What was your demeanor in between innings? I'm afraid to ask, but I'm asking anyway.
I was a little bit like this, into myself, and just concentrating on what I wanted to do the next inning. Mentally kind of going over the hitters, who they were. And then I had to figure out which one of my one pitch I was going to throw them.
Yeah, wasn't a lot of thinking about setting up guys. You weren't in looking at video.
No.
Wondering if you were tipping pitches.
Yeah,
Let's see. Is it a fastball or is it a fastball?
Not too many hitters were confused what to look for.
Line drive to the shortstop, Tejada. He makes that play easily. The Cardinals strand their third. We go to the 5th inning. 1-1 in St. Louis. Game show, and we've got a pitcher's duel going here, and who will flinch first? Wacha, 56 pitches through 4 innings, will face 7, 8, 9 in the Mets order. That's Tejada, the pitcher, Nice, and then EY Jr. Tejada, a strikeout victim, one of 4 strikeouts for Wacha. That came in the second.
And 6 strikeouts less than his other effort against the Washington.
Hard hit to left, but right to Matt Holliday, out number 1. Here's something you are not going to want to miss. Pay attention to this one. The St. Louis Rams will be at Ballpark Village, and you get a chance to meet the 2014 Rams rookies at Fox Sports Midwest live tomorrow, and again at Ballpark Village. It's a free event, 5:30 to 7:30, and there'll be giveaways, autographs, and more. You can get details at stlballparkvillage.com. stlballparkvillage.com, and that may be a website you may want to save. There'll be a lot of action not only during the season but during the off season over at Ballpark Village, and everybody loving that venue across the way. Al, nice play by a fan. We've had some good times across the street.
Oh yeah. Whenever I'm with you, Ricky, we have a good time.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Even Pat Parrish, we have a good time.
Know how to party.
You keep going back to that, Al. You're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?
Is your mom watching?
You know she is.
She might learn a few things about her son tonight.
Moms always know. 2-2 to the pitcher, outside corner. Strikeout victim is Nice. We're going to take a look at some starters who have been very good at home. 6+ starts without a loss. But Max Scherzer, well, we can cross him out. He had that game against Kansas City today. But Hudson, Tanaka, and Wacha all undefeated at home in 2014.
How about Tanaka? What was he, 25-0 last year? I know. I'm not sure where he's at now, but he was like 9-1 this year, playing in the real league, real big leagues.
Broken bat hit to right for Eric Young.
It's the 3rd hit allowed by Michael Wacha. Set up away, see if the hit comes in on him and breaks his bat. Up in the zone a little bit, just muscled it through the right side.
So good speed at first in Eric Young Jr. Both he and Granderson have dealt with leg issues that we mentioned, so perhaps the speed nullified a bit, and Yadier Molina has a habit of nullifying speed as well.
17 steals and 18 opportunities for EY. So pay attention to him, but concentrate on the hitter here with 2 outs.
Decent lead. Not going. Hard hit down the right field line. John Jay cuts it off before it gets to the wall, gets it in quickly, and he may have saved a run.
Yes, he did. John Jay, nice job right there cutting it off, and then he got it back into the infield. It almost scooted by him as that ball just kind of gained speed as it looks like it's going to hop on by him. And you see him reach out and get it. Then he gets it to Mark Ellis as quick as possible. So EY is going to go over to 3rd base, but he can't score. He was thinking about coming around.
John Jay's having a nice year, and not just with the bat. I think his defense is better than a year ago. I thought his defense was terrific 2 years ago, and it wasn't awful last year, but I think he's picked up a step. Key situation here in the dirt, blocked by Yachty.
You hear this hit here, and you see it's going to go into the corner, so he had to get to it quickly, reach out there. It hits Ellis perfectly, and that stops the runners at 2nd and 3rd. Good competition does that, Rick.
Sure does. 1-0, check swing. Yes, he did. says our home plate umpire, James Hoy.
For a young pitcher, Waka, and he had a problem last start, and the first time he's ever allowed more than 3 runs in a game. He allowed 4, but he can minimize the damage. He can get in trouble, but he has his ways of getting out of it.
The 1-1. Another changeup and a beauty.
That's such a good changeup. Throwing 95 and everything, and then he'll pull the string. 10, 11 miles an hour difference, and that's real tough on a hitter when he hides the ball well. He throws on that downward plane, and it looks just like the fastball coming in, but it just doesn't get there.
3 in a row, perhaps. Late swing.
Like the cutter.
Murphy's 0 for 2. Second in the National League with 85 hits. The 1-2. Jammed him. Popped up. Yachty looking for it. Can't find it. And it's out of play anyway. But Yachty had to get some help from his teammates because he did not see where that ball was at first.
Time of day, the lights really haven't taken effect, so everybody should help out the outfielders, in this case Yachty, but with that good pitch inside, that'll probably set up the changeup away. Beautiful night.
There's the changeup away, just misses. 2-2 to Murphy.
Just a little bit too far off the plate.
Trying to get him to chase. You love the battle here. Do you repeat, or do you double up, or do you go back inside with that fastball?
He's got 4 choices now, and I think right now this is a good idea. This could be the ball game right here. So come out and make sure you're on the same page. You know what you want to do. Ellis will come in and make sure he knows what, so he can maybe cheat a little bit one way or the other. Talk about his positioning.
Not every game is decided in the ninth. Most aren't.
No. I mean, today's game, how many times closer sometimes comes in and has a relatively easy job. Most of the time the game is won or lost in the 6th, 7th, 8th. But right here it could be here in the 5th.
2 runners in scoring position for the New York Mets. Murphy at the plate.
Came back with a changeup, and I don't mind doing it again. Just Yachty accentuating, saying you're not going to hang the ball, you're not going to do anything. He's going to be the swing and miss and just a little dribbler.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Murphy. Yachty throws him out, and Waka strands 2 here in the 5th. Perhaps the most important pitch of this game, we shall see, but Waka gets Murphy 1-1. Offering an incredible Cardinals package this season that includes overnight accommodations, tickets to a weekend home game, personalized Louisville Slugger bat, and a $25 food and beverage credit to Brewhouse or Red Kitchen and Bar. Book today at 314-655-1234 or visit stlouisarch.hyatt.com. And Daniel Descalzo is hit by a pitch, and that's how the bottom of the fifth starts. So the Cardinals with a base runner.
I love it when you get something going in the bottom of your order and you turn it around and give an opportunity for Walker to sacrifice Descalzo into scoring position.
Walker does offer, and did he pull it back or not? Ball one as Walker pulled the bat back just in time. Grounded out his first plate appearance. His job here to deaden the ball, preferably on the right side of the infield, and advance Descalzo to second. There's the bunt back to the pitcher, and thought about second base, but throws out Waka, gets the sure out, and I think he made a good decision there. Don't forget the Home Run Derby on ESPN Monday, July 14th. The All-Star Game follows on Fox on July 15th. All-Star voting, MLB.com, continues through the 3rd of July.
Board just needs to get something going. 0 for 12 again. When he gets on base, he can make things happen, but it's been a problem getting on base.
Strike one to Borges, who lined out his last plate appearance, hit that ball hard, in fact. He has been a bit streaky. In the leadoff spot here tonight, Matt Carpenter with the night off. Or at least not starting. Strike two to Borges. Cardinals with a couple of shots here to get Daniel Descalzo home.
At times it just looks like Peter's too tentative, you know, taking too many strikes, and then he'll expand his zone on the off-speed pitches.
The 0-2, and he does exactly what you said. Swings at the breaking pitch in the dirt after taking the fastball. So Borges a strikeout victim. And Nice was listening to your scouting report.
You see the breaking ball, you see it's way off the plate, and just a big swing and miss.
John Jay, very nice play in the top half of this inning that we believe saved a run. Going into the right field corner on Granderson's double, and he kept Eric Young Jr. from scoring. Got to the ball quickly, got it into the infield quickly, and now he can hurt the Mets with the bat here in the bottom half of the fifth. First pitch to Jay. Hit hard, past the third baseman into right field. John Jay has given the Cardinals the lead. Round second, he's thinking about three. John Jay delivers again.
Oh, a great impersonation of Matt Adams. John Jay, his second triple, and it breaks the 1-1 tie. 19th RBI for John Jay, and most of his RBIs come with 2 outs.
He has been finding holes, hasn't he?
Like he came into this year, a 293 lifetime hitter, batting over 310 now. He's up to 314, and now he's out there and let Matt Holliday drive him in.
Holliday has 34 RBIs. 0 for 2, but always a dangerous at bat with Holiday at the plate.
Holiday has 252 career RBIs here at Busch Stadium. That's second behind Albert Pujols and just one ahead of Yadier Molina.
Chance to tack on. They are working him inside to be sure. Holiday has been hit by 7 pitches this year. Shade him the other way in the outfield, slightly to pull on the infield.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
Inside out swing. Only 4 players in the game with 1,000 or more RBIs and an average of 300 or more. This is active players. Big names on that list: Pujols, Cabrera, Jeter, and guess who? Matt Holliday. The 2-2 to Holliday. Ground ball. That's past Duda. John Jay scores, and Holliday stand up double. 3-1 Cardinals. As the offense for St. Louis is on a roll.
Hitting becomes contagious. We talk about grinding out at bats. This team can have a lot of fun, and they have shown how much fun they can have just putting hits together. Watch the catcher set up away. Ball kind of up a little bit, just pounds it. And you see these fans get a pretty good look at how quick that ball gets by due to the first baseman.
We talked earlier when Alan Craig made that play down the first base line just how important that is to be able to take away an extra base hit. The Cardinals now have found that hole twice in this inning.
Yeah, John Jay and Holiday both beyond the reach and dive of Duda. Alan Craig getting a lot better with that runners in scoring position.
3-1 St. Louis. Craig 0 for 2, 5-game hitting streak on the line. And the first pitch to Allen backs him off the plate. A cutter. Misses badly.
Scalzo started this with being hit by a pitch. Don't forget the sacrifice of Walker to put him in scoring position. And then with 2 outs, Jay and Holiday have tried in a run.
You know, Al, that's really a great description of winning baseball when you can start looking at 4 or 5 or 6 guys that have done something well to help your team win on that given day. I mean, you can't have one guy have a good day and win. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. You're talking about offensive players. Pitcher might be able to do that. Take a game all by himself.
But even then, somebody's got to catch it. Somebody's got to score a run. Even Bob Gibson needed a little help every once in a while.
A little bit. A little bit. I mentioned that John Jay, most of his RBIs have come with 2 outs. He's got 19 RBIs and 13 of them have come with 2 outs. 2 good friends right there.
The Scalzos had an impact on this game. So is John Jay. Craig strikes out. Jay and the Scalzo friends, also contributors here tonight. West begins. Bartolo Colon, Lance Lynn as the Cardinals and the Mets. Final game of the 3-game series. Cardinals won game 1 here yesterday, and they lead this one 3-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. 6-2 victory yesterday. Michael Wacha trying to win his 5th game for the Cardinals here tonight, and Lance Lynn coming off one of the best performances I've seen him have in a Cardinal uniform. We'll start game 3. David Wright provided all of the Mets offense so far. That came in the 4th inning. This long home run off of a Michael Wacha curveball came in the 4th inning, and Wright leads off here in the 6th. And he comes right back with a curveball. I like that.
But you make sure it's a little harder and a little off the plate.
Exactly.
But it does show, you know, it's a sign of maturity and confidence for a young pitcher to come back with that same pitch and just attack the zone.
David Wright attacks that pitch, hits it into the gap, and it's past Holiday to the wall. A leadoff double for Wright, who's thinking about 3 and then puts on the brakes. Well, we may have gotten David Wright hot here tonight.
Yeah. The glove of Viotti kind of going from the outside down, so it's hit 2 balls that are at the bottom of the strike zone and hit both of them with authority, the home run and the double. Kind of caught too much of the plate there.
So Bobby Abreu a chance to do some damage. He's hitting in the cleanup spot for New York. 1 homer, 12 RBIs for Abreu. Fouls that one back.
Remember when Bobby Abreu first came up with Houston? He is a lot better player than what I envisioned him to become.
There's a look from the seats at Ballpark Village. Terrific venue. Lucas Duda will follow. A couple of left-handers back to back. And looking forward to what the Cardinals might do with their bullpen as guys start to stretch out a little bit as we're getting into the later innings. Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist start to think about options. This ball lined foul. And not that there's anything wrong with Michael Wacha continuing here, but you have to think a couple innings ahead.
Definitely.
Just 79 pitches for Wacha. And a high percentage of them strikes.
Good ratio.
So is the 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. He's ahead of the Mets right fielder Abreu. 1-2 is hit hard to left, but Holiday backs up a step or 2, makes the play, and David Wright not able to advance. Good throw from Matt.
Abreu acts like he should have done more with that pitch.
Lucas Duda. Strike 1.
Matsuzaka is throwing in the bullpen, but I would just think that'd be between starts for the Mets.
He had that 1 inning.
Started. Yeah, he had the 1 inning, but it was Sunday, and stomach virus.
So Abreu not able to pull the ball, could not advance right from second to third. Could be a break for St. Louis. Right with a leadoff double. Peralta holding him close there. Good pitch on the inside corner to Duda.
Short right field. Second baseman Mark Ellis is playing. So a lot of balls hit to that position, haven't we?
I think that's been a good adjustment that teams have made. I think teams are going to continue to evolve defensive strategies. We know the Pirates are doing much more even within counts, Al. Like it's you're ahead in the count, you're in one place, you're behind in the count, you're in another place. Pitch selection even. You see guys moving all over the place. I think that's going to become even a
I think you're right.
Bigger science.
I give hitters a lot of credit. I think they're going to find ways to beat it. You know, if you just give them one side of the field. And I think a lot of good hitters are going to say you can put them wherever you want. Walker's coming undressed. Alan Craig is right on the line. He was playing very close like that when he made that good play on Daniel Murphy. You're almost there. You're guaranteeing I can get every foul ball. It's almost too close.
I agree. 2-2 to Duda. Curveball misses high, and it's a good thing it did.
And those get launched.
Woo. You could almost see that right out of the hand of Michael Wacha, that he got underneath it and kind of flipped it. Didn't get his fingers in front, pull it down, and we know what happens when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Payoff pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Did not go, said the third base umpire, John Tumpane. So a walk to Duda. And another Mets base runner. And as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. And a reminder that you can tweet your photos to STL Fan Photo. And that will give you a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. So that brought to you by AT&T. There's our AT&T fan photo. Fly ball to center field. Recker swung at the first pitch, made out number 2. Right advances to third, but the Cardinals will take that.
Once again, Michael Wacha, could strand some runners in scoring position. One at third, one at first, but has the 2 outs, and he'll take that challenge against Tejada anytime. Always respect him, but bear down, concentrate a little harder, and make sure that he doesn't do anything to hurt you and jeopardize your victory.
Looks like Dendecker in the on deck circle to hit for Nice if the Mets get to that point. John Jay saved a run with his defense, and Abreu not moving the runner over may have cost the Mets a run in this inning. We'll see. Good swing there by Tejada.
I guess they would bring in Matsuka. Tejada, a 196 hitter on the road, but both his home runs have come on the road.
That's 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position here tonight. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. He blew that one by Tejada. So Wacha 1 pitch away from getting out of another jam here.
And he's also 0-2, so way ahead in the count, so he can play around a little bit and make sure that get a hitter to expand his zone, get your pitch out of the strike zone.
The 0-2 misses high.
A good pitch, though. Good 0-2 pitch. You know, just close, trying to tempt him a little bit.
Chris Maloney
trying to move the defense. Trying to move. I saw Holiday move towards center.
Cardinal fans want strikeout number 7 for Michael Wacha. Facing Tejada. 2 Mets aboard in the 6th. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 indeed for Michael Wacha. Cardinal fans get what they want, and Met fans don't, as Wacha strands 2 more in the 6th. 3-1 St. Louis. Come out early and watch batting practice from the stands in your new batting practice hat. AT&T will be sending 25,000 fans 16 and older home with their very own adult replica batting practice hat with the 2013 National League Champions logo. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Yadier Molina homered his first plate appearance, and way out in front of that off-speed pitch, strike 1. Yadi struck out in the 4th. I would not bet against Yadi hitting 300 this season. How about you, Al?
I agree.
Jammed on that one. Out number 1. Mets and the Cardinals facing off here. Mets won 3 out of 4 in New York earlier, but as far as the matchup between these two teams since the 2006 NLCS, and Cardinal fans remember that well, they think of Beltran and Wainwright. Final pitch. The Mets that year, Al, won 97 games. But since then, the team has fallen in the wrong direction.
Another thing that happened in that series was all of a sudden we saw a glimpse of what an offensive player Yadier Molina could become. You know, he had the most hits of any Cardinal in that series in the postseason that year, and had the big home run at Shea. And all of a sudden, I think it gave him the confidence to become the hitter we know he is today.
Most of the conversation about Molina early in his career was all about defense. Sure changed during that series, did it not?
Think about, Mike Matheny was an outstanding defensive catcher, a gold glove catcher. But they thought so much of Yadier Molina that, for 1 year, Mike had the task of trying to teach him as much as he could. And Mike will tell you there wasn't a whole lot I could teach him. He was well schooled.
Hard hit right center field. Peralta, this one in the gap, and ground rule double, bounces into the bleachers. A souvenir for that young man and a double for Johnny Peralta.
Most of the time, Peralta seemed like he pulled the ball with power, but this ball up and out over the plate, and he sends it a one-hopper into the stands. The ground rule double. His 18th double.
And that leads the Cardinals. Fastball high to Mark Ellis. Lined out and bounced out. 250 with runners in scoring position. Chance to extend the Cardinals' lead here. Fastball taken for a strike. Now look back on that moment when Daniel Murphy struck out in the 5th inning. You said that may be one of the key moments in the game. Strikeout of Murphy. The Cardinals answer with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Hard hit to left. Got under it just a bit. On the move is Eric Young Jr. to make the play.
And in the case the Cardinals get into a scoring opportunity, if Descalso does something, you got Sam Freeman warming up.
So everybody's going to think about this a little bit. Dan Worthen out to the mound, which essentially gives Sam Freeman time to get ready. The other team's pitcher, but I think they're trying to figure out, are they really going to pinch hit for Waka or not? And he wants to make sure the Mets kind of have their mindset whether or not an intentional walk to Descalso here makes sense or not.
Well, I think it may be just, go after him with 1 pitch. If we fall behind, then we can put him on. If you walk him, we don't care. Remember, the Cardinals, their bench is Carpenter, Wong, and Adams. All swing from the left side, and Tony Cruz the only right-handed bat. So one of the lefties would have to face Neese.
Waka's at 92 pitches. They will pitch to Descalso, and it's strike 1 to Daniel, who has singled, was hit by a pitch, and scored the first of 2 runs the Cardinals got in that 5th inning. So the Mets believing clearly that if they would walk Descalso, that they would be facing a pinch hitter. Otherwise, they would walk him intentionally. Cardinals with Carpenter, Wong, and Adams from the left side. Tony Cruz from the right side on their bench. There's a jam shot to Murphy. He can't handle it. Comes up with it. Late throw to first. Dude is not covering. Wow, did the Mets mess that one up? Murphy ran circles around the ball. Duda was caught watching.
Daniel Murphy, they've tried to find a place for his offense and settled in at second base. He has struggled there, but you see Duda could have helped out if he would have had his foot closer to the bag, because he never did step on the bag.
I wonder if Duda thought he caught the ball, turned his head away, and just assumed that it was an out, and that assumption, a big mistake.
And what's the first thing you talk to any coaches? They say never assume.
Understood. So the Mets with the game's first error.
That is Murphy's 8th error.
And the Cardinals do lift Michael Waka in favor of Colton Wong. Some room in right center field for Colton, facing a left-hander. Neese will lead off next inning for the Mets, so this is his last batter potentially. Michael Waka's night is through. Little flare down the left field line and foul. So Wacha goes 6 innings, Al, gives up 1 run, walks 2, strikes out 7, and allows 5 net hits. And he threw 92 pitches here tonight.
Continues that dominance here at home. A chance to even his record at 5-5. The bullpen can hold on.
Is this a bit of a boost as far as Mike Matheny is concerned to his bullpen? Maybe saying, we believe we can trust you now with 3 innings. The bullpen's been better lately.
I think so. When you look at what Sam Freeman has done a very good job of replacing Segrist. And I think when Segrist does come back, and that won't be that long, I would think it'd be very difficult to not carry the 3 lefties down there. And I'm talking about Freeman, Segrist, and Choate.
Base hit, Courtois. Peralta scores. Descalzo to third. And Courtois makes it 4-1 St. Louis.
That makes that decision a lot easier for Michael Wacha and all the Cardinals. Got a chance now. Colton Wong gives you a 3-run lead, and you bring up Borges, who hopefully can help his own cause. But a nice line drive. Colton Wong give that RBI, and that's a big confidence booster for him off a left-hander.
Really good at bat there for Colton. Wacha approves, and why wouldn't he? So Neese stays on to face the right-hander Peter Borges. And if you're Wong, do you think about stealing a base here?
Why not? You get the jump. I think a lot of times Mike Matheny has wanted his Borges or Wong, guys that have a little bit of speed, to steal more frequently, but if they don't get a good jump, you can't send them. Record is a good throwing catcher.
Thrown out 6 out of 13.
6 out of 13, 46%.
But Mike Matheny has mentioned that he's got green lights on certain players. You'd think Colton Wong would be one of them, and his comment was, "I've got to make it a little greener. Want him to go." There goes Colton. Pitches high, throw to second base. They could have had him, but he didn't tag him. If Daniel Murphy gets the tag down, Colton Wong is out. He was worried about the runner at third, and Daniel Murphy having a rough inning defensively.
Well, once again, we're talking about assumptions and not realizing the circumstances or situation. But you're right. What a strong throw by Wrecker, right on the money, and he's more concerned with the runner at third base than probably sliding in. He had no intentions or no thought that he could drop down a tag and be out of the inning.
Not sure I like a catcher showing up as infielder like that.
That's not good, but we understand it's an emotional game and sometimes you get carried away, but something you try to avoid, but sometimes it happens. And well, remember, we had a conversation with our Mets broadcaster before the game. On the same page with me?
He said that the second baseman at times makes some interesting plays.
Or it doesn't make them.
But I for one would prefer a second baseman who hits 300 and makes a couple of crazy defensive plays than a backup catcher that shows up a teammate any day of the week. The 2-2 grounded to the left side. This is going to be trouble. No way you're going to get Borges. Infield hit. Cardinals add another run. And Mike Matheny's decision to pinch hit for Michael Wacha is proving to be a very good one.
Yes, it is. And also, that's a good way to break out of an 0 for 13. Peter Borges puts his ball in play, Tejada gets to it but has no play with the speed of Borges. And then Wong wouldn't run around the third base bag, but didn't matter. The third baseman went after the ball too. Right? Wasn't at the bag. And he shouldn't have been.
That brings in John Jay. Knee still in this game. He's deserved better here in this inning, to be sure. He's gotten the third out a couple of times. There's a ground ball to short. Tejada throws out Jay, and the Mets finally make a play defensively. A very frustrating inning for the New York Mets. An error, a mental error. What is going on? Cardinals jumped on top of the second inning. A Yadier Molina home run. David Wright, who's 2 for 3, homered in the fourth. Jonathan Neese pitched a little better than those 5 earned runs in 6 innings of work. Michael Wacha's night is through. 6 solid innings for the Cardinal right-hander with 7 strikeouts. John Jay, a big contributor. On a nice night for baseball, our Chevy called to the bullpen. The left-hander who's starting to distinguish himself, Al, Sam Freeman.
Absolutely. Sam pitched very good baseball. Last time out, he scored upon, but he was out of the game. His runners scored, and why he has the ERA. But opponents are only hitting 115 against him. Cardinals are going to have some interesting decisions when Segrist, Kelly, Lyons all come off the disabled list. Carrying 13 pitchers right now, and there's 3 guys that, you know, at least 2 of them should be on your big league roster immediately.
It's a problem, but it's a good
nice
problem.
one.
Freeman has added a little movement to that fastball that is in the mid-90s.
This is Chris Young pitch hitting.
Here's the Freeman changeup.
I think that's the pitch that, you know, we've seen this year. He's got better command of his fastball, but he brought out that changeup. Got a, you know, sweeping, breaking ball.
And there's the movement I talked about, that little dip, little sink that he gets. He's really simplified his mechanics too. A lot of talk about Freeman, who had a little bit higher leg kick, a little bit more of a turn, and now he's a little bit simpler in his delivery, as you know, Jim Hayes was talking about in the pregame with Lance Lynn, simplifying his delivery. Freeman doing the same. Just here it is.
See, he's thrown 92, 93, but we've seen him 95, 96. So, well, you giddy up, and then you get that little tailing action on the end of it, the outstanding changeup. breaking ball that is pretty good against left-handers.
2-2 to Chris Young. Good off-speed pitch, and it caught him looking. So good start for Sam Freeman as the Cardinals bullpen now needs 8 more outs.
You kind of look at it. You got Freeman here. And you see the breaking ball and his changeup. Not an ideal location, but I think he got benefit of the call.
So from one Young to another, Eric Young Jr. hitting in the 9th spot, 1 for 2 here tonight. Young batting from the right side.
175 right-handed, 238 coming in left-handed.
2-0. You don't want to walk this man. Really, you don't want to walk anybody,
but
when you're leading 5-1, especially.
But with the base stealer, all the more keep him off base. We've seen Sam Freeman the last 3 years, but I think this time he's finally said, I belong here.
Peralta has it on 2 hops. Throws out EY. New York Mets since the 3rd of June have a record of just 3-10, scoring less than 3 runs a game. Al, the offense, the average low. They are walking a lot, but not a lot of extra base hits. The slugging percentage follows that. So really just big struggle with the offense, and they're looking for this guy to do some of that damage. Granderson and David Wright supposed to carry this team offensively.
Well, you know, they signed Granderson and Eric Young as, or not, Chris Young as free agents. There's our young catcher Recker talking to the pitching coach, and he could be upset, but Dan Worthen is a left-handed pitcher in his own right. He's 30 years old, young catcher.
He ought to know better.
Yeah.
Sam Freeman. Is it that easy? 1, 2, 3. I don't know where you are, but wherever you are, it's time to stretch. Let's do it. That's 5-1. Our Nissan drive of the game was delivered by the Cardinal catcher Yadier Molina. Yadi homering in the second inning, 374 feet. That was off the starter. Jonathan Neese just barely got out of here. But Yadi gave the Cardinals the lead early on. 2 runs in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th, and here we are at beautiful Busch Stadium. And our Chevy call to the bullpen, as Al mentioned, the guy who started a couple of days ago but was sick, Daisuke Matsuzaka.
He only pitched 1 inning in that game, had a stomach ailment, came out, so the bullpen pitched 8 innings on Sunday and a few innings yesterday, so they elect to bring in Daisuke to finish up this one. He is 3-0, 2.88 ERA. Made this will be his 21st appearance. He made 4 starts. But he was pitching well in the rotation.
And surprisingly well for the Cardinal fans that took the trek down to Jupiter and saw him pitch in spring training. He was not very good. Amazing that the Mets kind of stayed with him. He really struggled in spring training. The Cardinals, and particularly Matt Holliday, were just, I mean, teeing off on Matsuzaka.
He really split last season at AAA between the Mets and Cleveland's AAA teams.
Line drive off the bat of Holliday into the corner. Holliday headed for second, and just like spring training, a bullet off the bat of Matsuzaka.
Matsuzaka came over from Japan, and you see even that down and in, just drops the bat head and rifles it. 16th double for Holliday. Number 17th. He's got 2 today. But he was best season was 18-3 for Boston. 2.90 ERA.
Remember at the time they were talking about the pitch that Daisuke was throwing, and they called it the gyro ball, which to me seemed like a cutter, that was flat. But nobody could hit him, that's for sure. He had that big year, 18-3. Really burst onto the scene.
15 game winner his first year over in 2007.
Craig trying to hit the ball the other way.
And he had the big year in 2008, 18-3. And it looks like some injuries along the way. Won 108 games, 108-60 in the Japanese league, and he's 56-40 in the big leagues.
33-year-old right-hander working to Alan Craig.
I think one of the things you got to wonder is 33, but with their pitching and how many innings and how they work, once that arm starts going south, it's kind of hard to stop it. Used to watch when some of the Japanese ups came over in the 70s and would go to spring training in the States. They would take a pitcher out after a couple innings, and then he'd throw the rest of the game down in the bullpen.
That's a lot of innings. That's a lot of pitches. 1-2 to Craig. They set up inside, and they hit that inside corner. So Alan Craig has struck out twice, 0 for 4, and in danger of losing his 5-game hitting streak. And that was a little bit of a cutter that was not a strike.
Umpires sit over that inside shoulder, and you'd think the pitch they would see so clearly is that one, and we see it so clearly it's a ball, and yet they call it a strike.
19th sellout of the season here tonight at Busch Stadium, 42,209. Check swing, foul at the plate. Cardinal fans have been happy with this homestand, to be sure. The Cardinals with an opportunity to go to +7 with a victory here tonight. They're 4-0 on the homestand. They've won 7 out of 8. And so far so good here tonight. 5-1 St. Louis as they hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. That ball gets away from Recker. And Holiday advances. Wild pitch is the ruling. So a good RBI opportunity for Yadier Molina as the Mets bring the infield in. They cannot afford to give up another Cardinal run. The 1-1 to Molina, jams him, he fouls that back. Cardinals had 12 hits in game 1 against the Mets, scoring 6 runs. 9 hits through 6+ innings here tonight. Molina has scored the runner 11 out of 17 times with a runner on third and less than 2 outs.
Nice to see the average. National League average there was 51%. Kind of gauge how well that you're doing.
Three and 2.
And you got to have your patience. You don't want to, in an effort to get an RBI, get yourself out swinging at a pitch well off the plate. If they want to walk you, take it.
Just how much will Daisuke challenge Molina? Payoff pitch. Peralta will bat next. Holiday the runner at third. The 3-2. We'll do it again. Matsusaka has his sign. And here it comes. Spoiled a good pitch
Spoiled
there.
a good pitch right there. This is the first time these two have matched up against each other.
The payoff pitch. Good at bat going here for Yadier Molina. Swing and a miss. Yachty chases one out of the zone and strikes out for the second time here tonight. Holiday at third with 2 outs now. Fans, the next time you're looking to pick up great seats to the game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Cardinals tickets. Plus, with all-in pricing, there are no surprise fees at checkout. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more.
Johnny Peralta has faced Matsuzaka 13 times. He's 0 for 13.
So what you're telling me
is due.
He's got a chance.
The due factor.
Take strike one. Good night offensively for Peralta. He doubled and later scored in that 2-run Cardinals 6th inning. And he's also walked. Setting up outside, and the curveball bounces. The Mets are at 31-39, 4th place in the National League East, 5.5 games out. So really not very many games out when you think about it. There's a lot of teams right around 500 in the East. The Cardinals 6 games over 500. They trailed the Milwaukee Brewers by 3.5. Cardinals are playing much better at home of late. And there's a good picture for you. Ground ball left side, backhanded by right. Long throw across the diamond to get Peralta. He is very smooth over there. Cardinals strand a runner, 5-1 through 7. Go to Pat Paris. He's in our studio with Andy Bennis. Pat has a Bomberito Sports update for us. Thanks, Pat. I can hear the cheers coming from the western side of the state of Missouri. Can you hear them, Al?
I can.
Listen carefully.
I can.
Good for the Kansas City Royals. I'm okay with an I-70 World Series. How about you?
I am too. I said that to some people today.
Sam Freeman, another inning of work for him. He's earned more batters. The Mets will have their tough lefties this inning, so Freeman stays in to face Murphy. David Wright will bat next, but then Abreu and Duda to follow. 2-0 on Murphy. 3-0.
Jason Mott is just kind of tossing as you have Murphy, then David Wright, a right-handed batter, and then Abreu and Duda, two more lefties.
See if Freeman can come all the way back. A leadoff walk would not be what you would want in the 8th inning of a 5-1 game. The 3-1 from Freeman is strike 2, just like that. There you go.
I don't know if you remember when Sam first came to the big leagues. It was 3 years ago. I felt he could only throw strikes with his breaking ball.
I agree. Jams Murphy, pops him up. Descalzo backpedaling, makes the play. Good work, Descalzo. Good work, Sam Freeman, after being down 3-0 on the dangerous Daniel Murphy.
Well, and that's you kind of sit there and you see second inning, say you're starting to revert back, walking guys, but battles all the way back from a 3-0 count and gets that first man. You get that first man, you're well on your way to a clean inning.
So he earns another batter.
And I think it's significant to see him, with a chance to go 2 full innings.
Late swing and a foul back. Jumping ahead here, but if he gets Abreu, I could see him facing Duda in the 9th. Although Freeman scheduled to bat 3rd for the Cardinals. So perhaps Matheny would do that.
Maybe it'd be a Jason Mott 9th inning. Seth Matus got a chance for a 4-out save and picked up his 2nd major league save last night.
Well, Freeman keeps getting better. Jason Mott is last time out. That's the best we've seen him. 1-2. Off balance swing. Right runs well, but so does Sam Freeman. Tuesday, July 15th, baseball's best are going to gather in Minnesota for the 2014 All-Star Game. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star Game at 7:30 on Fox. Game's best stars will be on hand. Looking forward to the All-Star Game on Fox. Bobby Abreu. 5 straight retired by Sam Freeman. I agree with you, Al, your point about the fastball and the off-speed pitches. There were times where you thought, boy, he needs a strike. I hope he throws a changeup.
Yeah.
Which is backwards from what you normally expect.
Well, should be easiest pitch to throw a strike with, the fastball.
Hard hit to center. Borges makes the play. Another 1-2-3 inning for Sam Freeman. That man is pitching. reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. The great Stan Musial. Peter Borges, the last out of the last inning. You know, catching a baseball is not a big deal to him, but he knows baseball is a big deal to a fan. And uh-oh, they got it. That young man will be happy for weeks for that kind move by Peter Borges. Very popular among his crowd as well. Bottom of the 8th, 5-1 St. Louis. 7, 8, 9 for the Cardinals. Jerry's Familia, our Chevy call to the bullpen.
See his good ERA. He's got 1 save on the season.
Mets bullpen really has been a bit of a hodgepodge bullpen, especially in the late innings. Mejia is really their closer, but Bobby Parnell was meant to be their closer. He had 20+ saves a year ago for Terry Collins, and he got hurt. They've been trying to figure it out since then. Familia retires Mark Ellis for out number 1.
Alzo 1 for 2, but he's been on base 3 times and scored 2 runs. Base hit, first time up, hit by a pitch, and then and 1 for 2, reached on an error.
Hard hit up the middle. Tejada gobbles it up and makes a nice throw to retire Descalzo. So 2 quick outs for Familia. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of your St. Louis Cardinals.
Nice round of applause for the new pinch hitter, Matt Adams. 3 consecutive home runs in the Washington series, and then last night he got the game-winning hit also. So 4 consecutive days. It'll end right here.
Cardinals have had an offense that has stopped and started all season long. Al, we've talked about individual players that have done that, but the team collectively has kind of stopped and started. There's Adams' .330 average, top the league leaders. But we just wonder if we'll look back at this series and Matt Adams' return to the lineup and the energy he's provided as maybe kind of the catalyst for the offense to finally pull it together. Now, lot to do going forward. There's a line drive again, and it gets past Abreu and goes to the wall. So Matt Adams should be a single and an error, but that was a rocket.
Well, definitely a base hit out there, and a little bit just ate up Abreu. Abreu obviously not swift of foot. You see how deep he plays.
Second
baseman in between there. And he just hits it right in the middle. But Abreu comes in and then got too close to that one hopper, and it goes right on by him. Just eats him up. And I think he made a new fan of that Mets guy.
Well, I know from experience that Met fans are not afraid to tell you what they think.
Are they giving it a double all the way? Because there's just 1 error.
Wow, so far.
Well, it should be a base hit in E9, and I've heard that it is.
Peter Borges 0 for 3, walked in the 6th inning. Actually, Borges had a base hit, not a walk. It was an infield hit.
An RBI on that. That broke an 0 for 13. Well, let's see if he can go on a good positive streak. See if he can't pick up a second RBI.
Sometimes the infield hit does that for you.
Yep.
Nice play by Recker. Familia, the third Mets pitcher of the night. He started, went 6. Matsusaka pitched the 7th. Sam Freeman on the Cardinals side in relief of Michael Wacha was perfect. 6 up, 6 down.
Jason Mott will have the 9th.
John Jay would bat next. 3-0 to Borges. Now a walk, and we will see John Jay again. And Familia asking for trouble here in the 8th inning. John Jay is swinging a very hot bat for the Cardinals.
On 2 for 4. He's got his average up to 312.
Chance to add to those 19 RBIs for John Jay. Very shallow in the outfield, not wanting to give Adams a chance to score.
They may get a gapper that they can't catch up to.
Does happen when you play shallow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen that before. Five to 1 Cardinals. Hoping to take the first 2 games of the series with the Mets. Jason Mott with the job of trying to close it out. A 1-1 swing and a miss. Mets really fell apart defensively, did they not, Al, in that 6th inning? It's kind of a ugly inning all the way around for Jonathan Neese and Daniel Murphy both.
And it's just, you know, when these things happen, Neese did keep his string of 18 consecutive times with 3 runs or less earned runs.
Gave up 5 total, 3 of them earned.
3 of them earned. But that's not much consolation.
Oh, but a different game if it's 3-1 right now.
Oh, sure. But you know what I mean? The game is all about whether you win or lose.
Absolutely. John Jay strikes out. Catcher Recker holds on. We go to the 9th. Jason Mott to work. Jonathan Neese. Jason Mott is our Chevy call to the bullpen. He'll have the ninth.
Mason appearing for the 10th time, no record, good ERA, and just keeps on getting stronger and stronger. Saw a lot of fathers and sons, children over the weekend, and it's still good to see them all through the season. What a bond between kids and their dads, you know, and grandfathers, and whole bonding of baseball.
I love it.
I was doing a radio show went during the strike in '94. I had a guy that called the baseball show and said he refused to go to a game. He was so mad at the players. And I tried to, you know, I talked to him a couple different times, and I finally said, you know, why obviously you're a baseball fan. He goes, why did you become a baseball fan? Well, my dad and my grandfather made me.
Hard hit to right, and I mean hard hit to right. Home run for Lucas Duda into the stands in right field, and the Cardinals lead now 5-2.
Just a line drive off the bat of Duda, and that's that power you talk about. You'd like to see a lot more of it, but he has that potential, and he just turns on this Jason Mott pitch. Up in the zone and just kind of flat, didn't move anything.
Maybe a cutter that didn't cut.
And now at almost 100 miles an hour.
Pinch hitter is Eric Campbell. We saw him here last night. Top pinch hitter for the Mets, and there's a hit down the right field line, and looks like this is going to be a double. And not a good start to the ninth inning for the Cardinals. And again, you look back at those 2 runs they scored in the 6th inning, and those are huge right now.
Oh, it's part of the process of coming back from Tommy John surgery. Jason Mott has been awfully good this year. That home run was just a second. Saw that their opponents are hitting .290 against him coming in, but he's gotten the strikeouts when he's needed to. He's cut down on the walks, and as the season goes along, he's going to maintain more and more velocity, but I still think he's learning how to pitch. And Mike Matheny's going to come out here. Neshek is warming up quickly, and we'll see if they make a move.
Normally when the manager comes out, that means he will make a move. But not always. He's having a conversation with Jason Mott.
You know, Jason's handled this very well with coming back, and you know, you got a lot of pride and everything, and Mike might have talked to him, and he said, hey, the team comes first.
Which means time for Pat Neshek. 9th inning. He is our Chevy call to the bullpen. Al, very good numbers for Neshek.
Very good numbers. You're right. He just really kind of came out of nowhere, signed as a minor league free agent. Played with Oakland last year. Kind of got slider happy, and all of a sudden he realized he needed to get his fastball, and by throwing the fastball more often, it's gained 2 or 3 miles an hour in velocity and makes his slider that much more effective.
So Manus with the save last night. Save situation for Neshek here in the 9th inning, and no Trevor Rosenthal.
Well, I think Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist are saying that they wanted to give 2 full days off to Rosenthal, and I think that Neshek, has earned this. He's pitched so well. He did pick up his first save a couple weeks ago, first major league save, and I think he's ready for this assignment. And then if you can get by another day for Rosenthal, all the better. Finish that story real quickly about the guy. I said, well, how did you become a baseball fan? He said, oh, my father and grandfather took me. I said, so you have any kids? You're denying your son or your children that same special bond?
Neshek has the ground ball, throws out to Hada, out number 1. And a lot of moms and dads and daughters and sons and grandparents are happy about that here in the 9th inning, here at the ballpark tonight. That special bond you're talking about.
Yeah. And I end up telling him, it kind of made him think. And I said, well, if you want to go to the game, I'll get you tickets. And he took me up on it about 6 months later, but he did go.
The pinch hitter is Dendecker. Matt Dendecker hits from the left side. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Struggling offensively. And he pops this one up on the first pitch. Holiday has it. And the Mets are down to their last out. Our Budweiser player of the game, Michael Wacha.
Looks like he's in line for his 5th victory. Could have gone a little deeper in this ball game, but they had a scoring opportunity. Mike Matheny put up the pinch hitter, and it did pay off with a couple extra runs. And we've needed those extra runs as this game's gone along.
Absolutely. 42,000 plus here at Busch Stadium.
How much better is your bullpen if you can give save, another save for Neshek, Manus last night, and not be totally dependent on Rosenthal.
Eric Young Jr. pops it up. Borges wants it, and the Cardinals have now won 8 out of 9. They take the first 2 games from the Mets. Michael Wacha the winner, and the save goes to Pat Neshek.
Just an outstanding game. Good all around. The offense was good. They scored 5 runs and 10 hits. Defense was good. No errors. Made some nice plays, and outstanding pitching all the way through.
And it makes for a lot of good conversation in our postgame show. That's coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Midwest.